Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to show you how to make a baby bouncy seat. And then I'm going to also show you this little play mat. I'm not sure if you can really see all of this stuff, but this is no sew, so that should be pretty simple for you to do. All right, well, let's get started. First thing I have is this little baby, which is about 1.5 inches. Okay, the very first one I made a little bit larger. You can see the baby fits perfectly underneath of there. So then I made another one a little bit smaller, and what I did is I stopped before I finished it because I wanted to be able to show you guys how we're going to do it. And that way you can see how the frame all goes together. Okay, and then these are the pieces you're going to need. You're going to need a piece of felt, a piece of fleece, or a piece of felt, or any kind of scrap fabric that you can use. Right, you're going to need an empty pill bottle, the smaller size, and then you're going to need some wire. Your wire can be any size wire, but I've noticed that this wire works the best from the Dollar Tree. It's in the fake flower section, so it's not very thick. I want to say it's probably about maybe 14 gauge, but it didn't say on the package, so I couldn't really tell you exactly the size that it is, but it comes in different colors: red, purple, green, and I think there was a blue. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your wire, and you will have left over. Okay, it is 12 inches long. You're not going to use all of this, but you do want to have it left over so that when you bend it, you have room to bend with it. Alright, and then you're going to take another piece of wire and you're going to cut it at 5 inches. And then an additional piece of wire you're going to cut a little over 2 inches. It's like 2 1/4. And again, you know, you will have a little bit left over, so it's not a big deal. Right? So the first thing you're going to do is, if you have a pair of pliers, you're going to need those if you don't, you're going to bend your wire up. Okay? Just like that. Okay, so now you have what looks like a V. Now, if you're going to go off of mine, I'm going to say it's about 1 inch. Okay, and then we're going to bend that one up. So it should be pretty close to that. Now, obviously, it's not going to be square. You're going to have to fool with your wiring to get it to be square. And once you get it to the squareness that you want, you will actually need Okay. You will actually need to decide how you want your back. If you want it to be square, you want it to be wonky, or if you want it to be half rounded. It's completely up to you, because this is going to be your baby bounce seat. However, once you have it to where you want it, then you are going to have to bend the front. Okay? I'm going to go across. And bend it again. Just like that. Okay? And that is approximately 1 inch and, I can't even see those little numbers, 1 inch and 9/16. That's what that's going to be. Right? Now once you have it bent like that, you're going to take your fingers and you're going to glide them back to the angle that you want your seat to be at. And as you notice, there are extra long compared to this seat here. Okay? So now you're going to come up, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your little pill bottle, and you're going to place it in there. And then you're going to wrap that around. And that's how you're going to get the roundness of your seat. Okay, so again, your pill bottle goes in here, and you wrap your wire around it so that you get the roundness of your seat. Now once you have the roundness of your seat, exactly how you need it to be, then you're going to take your wire cutters and you're going to cut it. Cut it off just like that. You'll have that piece left over, it's not a big deal. If it's bigger than that, less than that, then your size of your seat is not going to be the same as mine, which is not a big deal either. Okay, so after you have that done, kind of straighten it out a little bit, the best that you can. And you notice this is together, but it's not sealed together. You can do a couple things here. You can either use some goop glue, which says it seals metal. So you can do that. You can hot glue it, or you can use a tiny piece of duct tape because it's not going to show, which is probably the easiest way to go. So that's what I'm going to do. I just cut myself a piece of duct tape about 3/4 of an inch by 1/2 inch wide, and I'm going to tape it because I don't want to wait 24 hours for this to dry. And hot glue tends to leave a little bulkiness to it. So there you have it. It's sealed. Now, you, like I said, you can use glue and you don't have to worry about it. All right. So next we're going to do is we're going to make this piece. And in order to make that piece, you are going to need a pair of jewelry pliers that allow you to bend in circles. See how they're rounded? Okay, just like that. And you'll get a round little shape on there. Okay, so hold on, I'll be right back. All right, it's still recording. I just wanted to double check and make sure that I wasn't losing you guys. All right, so now I want to measure where I want to do the next one. And actually, this goes under, not on top. All right. There we have it. It's right there. All right, now once you have it on there, then you're going to take your regular pliers and you are going to seal it just above the seat. Now you want to straighten your seat back up the best that you can. Make sure your wire is all straight because it can get a little wonky on you. Alright, so now yours should look kind of like this. Okay, you can change the angle if you want to have it go back a little bit further, that's fine. If you want it to have it up a little bit more, that's fine too, whichever is your preference. Alright, so the next thing you need to do is you're going to have to make this little crossbar for the toys. Now, you can do this with or without beads, whichever you prefer. It's totally up to you. If you're going to do beads, you cannot do the ends on both sides until after you put the beads on there. Otherwise, they won't go, trust me. You will not get them on there. So hang on, I gotta get my beads out. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my beads out and I went ahead off camera and I took my wire and I bent it around here, the same as we did with this part here. So I went ahead and bent it so that we have it, and then I curled the end the same as I did with this. I don't have any like fancy little beads because my kids are all grown, so I don't make anything that like tiny. So after you have this done, you're going to need to put a tiny bit of glue on the end to keep the beads from going completely off. So once that dries, you can kind of like move it a little bit out of your way so it doesn't have that blob on there. The hot glue will pick off of this really easy once it's dry. So once it's cool enough, I always just take my finger around it and kind of pull off what I don't need. Just don't do it when it's hot, because hot glue will give you a blister, because it will hurt. Trust me, I've done it. Okay, so now that we have that on there, we are going to set that to the side and wait for the next step. Okay, here you have a piece of fabric. Let me move some of this stuff out my way. This little piece of fabric here is approximately 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, you want to turn it to the side that's going to be facing in like this, just like that. Okay, and what you want to do is fold it in to where it's like that, and you don't want to fold it too much to where you can't slide this over it. Okay, so just do just enough. Okay, just like that. All right, remember the good side is inside. Okay, and there's a reason for that. Now, you're going to lay this on here. You can either trace it or you can eye it up. I'm just going to eye it up because, quite frankly, I don't want the pencil mark to come through. You might want to get a pair of scissors that cut better than mine do. Alright, so once you have that done, then you're going to put a very thin bead of glue right along the inside of there. Once the glue is inside of there, then you take something and press it down and make sure it seals it pretty good. Get it right up in there. I'm using my little empty pill bottle to do this with. Okay, give it a second to cool off. And make sure when you're doing this, you're doing it on something that you can get the glue off of, otherwise it will ruin the table. Okay, once it's dry, then you're going to flip it inside out. And you should have something that looks kind of like this. Okay, now you're going to have to shape it, of course, and you can make your ends a little bit more in if you like. If you need to push it out a little bit more, you can use the scissors to do so. Just make sure that they're shut so you don't rip it. Don't mess with that, Zachary. Okay, so now you're gonna slide that right over. Okay. Now you can kind of get an idea, like I need to take this corner in a little bit more. I can do that off camera. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so once you have that in there, then you're going to pull this down. Once you have it down, you got it nice and tight, you're going to pull it. Okay, make sure you have it tight. Then you're going to glue this piece here inside. You may want to use a pair of pliers for that because it will get kind of hot with the glue. Alright, now once you have that, then you're going to tuck this under in that same exact space that you just glued. Sorry, you can't see this, but I have to pull it close to me to be able to get it. So then you're going to tuck the corners up in there, kind of like an inside fold. Alright, so then there you have your little bouncy seat. And once you have it where you need to be, you can add more glue to secure it if you need to. Now I'm not sure if this is exactly 1/12 scale because I just went off of the doll that I had. I did not research the size of a baby bouncing seat. But if you want to make sure that it's exact on yours, then you will need to research the size of that. And then 1/12 scale means 1 inch equals 1 foot. Alright, so there's my little bouncy seat all ready for its toy. Now, the glue is dried on this. What you're going to do is you're going to hook the little part that you made there. And then once you have it in there, you're going to squeeze it to lock it on there. Alright, make sure you have it squeezed. Okay, now you are going to cut this once you have it where you want it to go. Right about there. I'll take probably about, I don't know, it looks like a little over half an inch off. Then I'm going to take my round pliers and I'm going to twirl them again the same way. Tuck that underneath of there. And then squeeze it to lock it on there. Oh, that one didn't lock. I didn't squeeze it hard enough. There we go. Now it's locked on there. Okay. So here comes the part with this. You're going to take your circle and you're going to now bend it outward. Just a little bit. And my beads are on level, so I'm going to have to fix it. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've fixed the beads. I've adjusted the thing. Let me see if I can zoom in here where you can see it a little bit better. Alright, so Now the beads move. The seat is ready. All except for the belt. That's when this little piece is going to come in handy because we don't want the baby to fall right out of there. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. For that piece, we are going to put a tiny bit, not a lot, of hot glue right there. I'm going to flip it over and we're going to glue it on the back right there. See it? Okay. Now you can either put your straps above like that, or you can put them below. I like the idea of having it above when it's down like this and it's a little baby, because then the baby can slide down in here rather than like this would be, if I can show you, my fingers just don't want to move with all this little stuff. Right. That would be below. And if you did it above, put my finger in there. This little doll was not meant to be laying in this thing. All right. So, here we go. We're going to take the doll out because it's not working, and then we'll put the doll back in. All right. So, that's where it would be if you put it above. Then you would just slide your doll right down in there. Okay? Now, if you want to make yours smaller to fit a smaller doll, you can. If you want to make it bigger to a bigger doll, you just have to adjust the size of the metal. And then we're just going to glue that real quick. We're going to try and attach it to the same spot that we have the bottom attached to. Because this is super hot and I'm stretching this, I don't want to burn my finger. So I'm going to use pliers. Just give it enough time for it to cool. Okay. Put a little bit more hot glue on there. And I'm going to pull that one over. There we go. You can blow on it to make it dry quicker if you like. And once it's dry, you should be able to touch it. Okay. Now, if you want your seat to have a bend in it a little bit, you can just bend it up like that, just a little bit, or you can leave it straight back. It's entirely up to you, since this is your bouncer that you're going to be making. And there you have it. You can put a little itty bitty baby in there, or you can get a bigger baby. This is the only baby that I had, so that's why I'm using that one. All right, and then you can pretend like he's bouncing away. All right, well, we've run out of time today for that, but I will make another video on how to do the activity mat for you guys, and then you can watch that. But in the meantime, don't forget to follow Dollhouse Miniature Madness and Tutorials on Facebook. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.